Guys, we're going to light these, and if you'd like to hold one, you can come forward and grab one, and we'll stack some here, but if you'd all like to hold one, it's going to be part of the ceremony.
Let us begin. Dear cyclists, neighbors, co-workers, family, and friends, you who love Rick, welcome. We're gathered here today to dedicate a ghost bike for Richard Stanley Archer, a visible sign of an invisible reality, that we're only human. We're only here for a little while. And we are here to make visible a sign of a dawning awareness that we must peacefully coexist on these shared roads for all of us to stay alive. We're here now and next at City Hall to tell our stories of the necessity of our bicycles for our lives and our livelihood. Even as the Boston Transportation Committee meets tonight, we are here to tell the story of the human cost of political inaction. But most of all, we are here to tell the story of Rick's life, to remember all who grieve his death, to rededicate ourselves to a day when there are 0 fatalities on our city roads, a peaceable city, a just city, a city where a chef makes it home safely after the last meal is cooked, a student makes it home safely after the last exam is taken, and a young man makes it home safely after watching a movie with friends. We're all just fellow humans, fellow Bostonians trying to make it home alive. So on behalf of the Ghost Bike Planning Committee and all who love Rick, we welcome you to this holy act, whoever you are and however you got here. You are welcome whatever you believe. You are welcome whatever you feel this night. You are welcome here if you bring your anger and your rage and your grief and your sorrow. You're welcome here if you bring your resignation and your sadness. You're welcome however you got here. You are welcome on this holy ground. Friends, we are at the place where Rick was last alive, where his lungs were last filled with air. This place is made holy by Rick's life and by your presence. And so you need bring nothing other than yourself. It is good and right that you are here however you got here. By being present here, you honor Rick's life and proclaim with our bodies and our bicycles that Rick's death will not go unnoticed. So thank you. Dear friends, thank you. Thank all of you who have come out tonight. Thank you so we do not grieve alone. Together this evening, we'll listen to a reading, we'll hear from some of Rick's community, we'll gather our grief and direct our energy, and then we'll dedicate this ghost bike. And so I invite forward Mike Schick, who will bring a message from Rick's father, Michael, and read the story of the ghost bikes.
Hey everybody. Beautiful to see you guys all here. I just want to first of all say thank you for everyone who's been there at the hospital, here on the streets, online, at the memorials, right here, right now, just showing your support and really just showing how strong we all are together. They asked me to read the story of the ghost bikes, and then I'm going to read just a short message from his dad. So today we participate in a ritual that happens all over the world. Ghost bikes began as protest art, an attempt at visible signs to a city that failed to see the transit violence all around it. In 2003, Patrick Van der Tuin, a St. Louis cyclist, saw a car drift into a bike lane and hit a female cyclist from behind. Her injuries were minor, but the incident stuck with him. The crash was not far from his home. He passed it daily as he rode his own bike, and no one seemed to remember the violence that happened on that street corner. As he passed the scene of the crash again and again, he developed an idea. Patrick got his hands on a bunch of junk bikes, painted them white, and started combing police reports for locations of bike accidents and fatalities. The original art installation was called Broken Bikes, Broken Lives. That first ghost bike didn't last 24 hours and it was quickly taken down. But a few years later in Pittsburgh, a small group of cyclists picked up the idea from St. Louis and coined the term ghost bike. The cyclist named Eric Boer had himself been hit by a car and his leg broken badly. He remembers we had a meeting around a picnic table, basically drinking beers and trying to brainstorm ideas on this project. Someone mentioned ghost bikes because of the connotation that bikes are gone, but they're ghosts of bikes. That the bikes are gone and they're ghosts of bikes. Part of it also was that we kind of thought people saw through us, almost looked at us as ghosts on the streets, like they didn't really pay attention to us. We were almost invisible in a way. By installing a ghost bike here at this dangerous intersection, we make visible Rick's life and his death. We offer a visible reminder that cyclists need not be invisible. We are worthy, we're here to be seen. And then I just want to pass on a message from Michael, Rick's father. We had a memorial service on Sunday night at a friend's backyard. It was really a beautiful event where all of Rick's friends got together and sat around a fire and shared stories of Rick's life. And I mean, I couldn't imagine a more beautiful way to wish the best to my friend, my brother, and all of our friends and brothers, just to share in that light and that enthusiasm and that humbleness that he had. Just be kind, do the right thing. So Michael said one thing that I'd like to share with everyone is the importance of life. Never take for granted that tomorrow is going to come, because one day it won't. Rick, Jake, his brother, and I were planning on spending this Father's Day together, something we hadn't done in a long time. I was also looking forward to spending time with Rick and reconnecting and getting fully caught back up in one another's lives. Take the opportunity to tell someone you love them. Take the time to talk to someone you've been meaning to reach out to, but you haven't found the time. Just make the time. You'll be happy you did. Thank you guys for
And we will remember Rick by those who knew him and loved him. Lilu, Leanne Greenman will share a word about her beloved Rick.
Thank you all for coming. Thank you for your overwhelming support. And I know that if Rick were here, he'd be really proud and he'd be smiling. So thank you so much for coming out and supporting this. He was my best friend, and he was my biggest teacher, and I loved him, as much as my family. He was my family, and he believed in making change, and he believed in things that were just and right, and this is just the start, of raising awareness. He was really trying and hoping that the world could be more socially conscious and culturally conscious, and he loved to travel, and his biggest thing was helping people. So you being here and raising awareness and hopefully being the start of something much bigger would mean the world to him, and it means the world to me. And in this horrible tragedy, I couldn't ask for anything better, so thank you. And I know that wherever he is, he's shining down on all of us, and he's smiling, and he's grateful. and I'm grateful to all of you. So I know he'll keep on riding, wherever he is. And no matter who you are, where you are, don't ever be discouraged to ride. Keep on riding.
My name is Sean Ball, and I was with Rick that day. It was me and him riding home to his house to drink 3 beers on his roof. We laughed about how he had such a night. There is no greater tragedy in human life when a parent outlives their child. And unfortunately for Rick and his family, that is exactly what happened here on this spot. A beautiful life was taken away from all of us, those who knew him and those who would know him. A matter of inches was the difference between the car hitting me and the car hitting him. So all I want everybody to take with you is that life is that delicate, that fragile, and that precious. And Rick believed it. You should all believe it. Hug your loved ones. Tell them that you love them. And don't ever be afraid to have emotions and love those around you. Make friends wherever you go. Offer anything you have extra to those who need it. And be mindful and love this world. Because it's how Rick lived his life.
I invite Joe King to say a word about Rick.
My name is Joe King. Rick and I were like brothers to each other. And one of the things that we shared was a trauma history. We both have PTSD. We bonded over it. We bonded over a lot. We also bonded over that. And one of the things that we did together was we told the truth. Tragedies occur and are perpetuated by one person's dehumanization in the eyes of another's. And the truth in personal narrative is humanizing. The ugly stuff, the scary stuff, the thing that makes you look at another person and realize that their life matters. Rick and I engaged in radical vulnerability together. And in my struggles with my own trauma history and in with his, radical vulnerability was what was beginning to save us. So here we are, we're telling the truth. We're telling the truth to humanize Rick Archer. But one thing that I hope that we can all leave with, that Rick desperately wanted in his life and would want in his death, is for us to also tell the truth about ourselves and to humanize ourselves too. Because this could have been any of us. Please leave here telling the truth.
I will say we need each other, and you will respond, we need each other. This is what I believe. That our gathering matters and it honors Rick. I believe that telling the truth matters and sets us free. I believe our collective visibility matters. And so we name aloud what we grieve and what we long for, and it helps us bear our burdens and share our joys. Our resiliency depends upon one another. Rick lived this in a tight web of relationships into which he was woven. And so we gather tonight from many different places and many different traditions. We gather here, whatever faith we practice or beliefs we hold in common, we share a common language of love. And so in the time that follows, I will name aloud what we hold most dear. Some of us pray, some of us meditate, some of us hold these thoughts as we ride. And so whatever your practice and however you are comfortable, add your voice. Your voice strengthens the voice of those around you, but be assured if you need to drop out, there will others who carry on. In the litany that follows at the end of each petition, I'll say, we need each other, and you may respond, we need each other. Many roads brought us safely here to this small square of earth. We stand on holy ground. We gather in grief to remember a life well lived, a life too short, adventures unknown, possibilities unfulfilled. As we gather in our grief, may we know we need each other.
We need each other.
We give thanks for the life of Rick and all whom he loved. We honor the community he cultivated, you mess family, you death-proof, you family of blood and bond. And we celebrate Rick's adventurous spirit, his global curiosity, his commitment to social justice, the freedom he found on a black magic bike, and the joy he shared with those around him. We vow to adventure bravely, choose our words carefully, love fiercely as Rick did. As we gather to give thanks for the life of Rick, we proclaim again, we need each other.
We need each other.
When we choose to take a bike instead of a car. When we choose to listen instead of shout. When we choose advocacy over complacency. When we choose to get curious instead of cranky. When we choose to heal the broken world instead of cursing it. When we travel past this spot, remind us of Rick. And as we try to go on, remind us that we need each other.
We need each other.
We remember the names of those who have died while biking in Greater Boston over the past 2 years. We remember Marcia Deal, 65, of Cambridge. Yadilis Camacho, 8, of Mattapan. Fritz Philogene, 18, of Dorchester. Jonathan Dos Santos, 16, of Dorchester. Anita Kerman, 38, of Cambridge. Jean Thornburg, 61, of Wayland. Mark Himmelfarb, 59, of Lincoln. Joe Lavins, 60, of Lexington. Bannon Williamson, 40, of Brookline. And Rick Archer, 29, of South Boston. And all those whose names are known to the cosmos alone. Comfort all who mourn this day, especially Rick's family and friends, as we name this company of those killed while riding their bikes. We do not drop, we do not leave behind. Confirm in us again, we need each other.
We need each other.
We weep and we rage with all of those who were present at and following a crash. We remember those who witnessed things that no one should see. And the ambient trauma to neighbors, EMTs, friends, and loved ones. May images fade from your eyes and the noise ebb in your ears as our communities suffer. Remind us again that we need each other.
We need each other.
We who continue to ride these roads confess that some days we ride angry and some days we confess that we ride scared. And here on this holy ground, we claim and recommit ourselves to work for a day when all people will be safe on Boston roads. Help us to believe that we need each other.
We need each other.
We consider our cities. naming our hope for Boston this night. We look expectantly to the leadership of our city to make decisions tonight to prioritize vulnerable transit users in every neighborhood, on every road.
Yes.
We long for a day when death will be no more, mourning and crying and pain will be no more. We do not want to do this again. As we mourn, as we testify, confirm for us that we need each other.
We need each other.
Dear friends, this is what we believe. And this is what we practice to stay alive. We need each other.
We need each other.
Amen. Dear friends, I'd invite you, as we dedicate this ghost bike, the immediate family and friends to gather close, and for all of you to reach out your hands towards the ghost bike. Get close to one another. We build a strong web like this. Come and touch the bicycle, or ask if you can place your hand on someone else who is touching the bicycle. Together we are connected. Join with me. On this holy ground, we dedicate and bless this ghost bike. May all who look upon it be reminded of the awesome responsibility of driving cars and trucks. May this ghost bike be a sign and a promise. May it be a sign of our fragile lives on these roads. And may it be a promise that Rick's life and his legacy will not be lost. Bless this memorial to Rick. Bless us too. Let the people say amen.
Amen.
I invite you to take the step backwards. And from our colleague and companion, Becca Wolfson, we'll hear our call to action and our directions as we head to City Hall. Becca?
I'm using this megaphone because I want to make sure everyone can hear. What I'm going to share with you all is what we're about to do and how we're going to pull it off. We're going to ride to City Hall and arrive during the middle of the council's budget hearing for the transportation department. We're going to tell the city council with our bodies, our testimony, and our stories in turn, and our sheer numbers, not our sheer volume when we enter, how much our lives matter and how much their decisions in that council chamber matter. Far too often, we're unjustly painted as unruly lawbenders, ruffians who can easily be brushed off and ignored. And while the burden of responsibility shouldn't be on us, we need to show up there as the humans that we are and tell our stories of how we travel these streets and how we need to feel safer and how we need the city to prioritize our movement, everybody's movement on our city streets. There are decisions that they can make and how they allocate funds, and those decisions show their priorities. We need to tell the city council that they need to tell the mayor that he needs to move money into the budget for transportation. We need them to be sympathetic to our cause. We need them to hear about your lives and your humanity. We need them to lead. We need them to feel compelled and empowered. How we carry ourselves is really important. We need them to be our allies, which they already are, and we need to lift them up. We're gonna ride, led by Peter Chung. There's an area on the 3rd floor City Hall Plaza where we can lock our bikes and where we can leave our bikes. There are volunteers there who are going to watch over them, and we'll all go into the council chamber on the 5th floor. There are a few people who are already signed up, but for everyone else who arrives, we urge you to sign up and say who you are and how this matters to you. I think that's it. Thank you.
Guidelines for how long people
One more thing.
social media.
When you speak, try to limit it to 2 minutes. I think there are a lot of us who do want to say something, and again, encourage everyone to speak who wants that opportunity. It helps if you say who you are, where you are from, and anything else you want the council to hear about their decision and the mayor's decision.
So friends, a final word as you leave this space. We invite you to move swiftly to City Hall, where we can honor Rick's life with our testimony before the Boston Transportation Committee, and to call for more Vision Zero funding. We invite you to leave your candle so this memorial may shine bright. Even as the city rushes, may these lights be a reminder of Rick's life. Friends, you are loved, you are precious, you are worthy to be seen. And so as we depart from this holy place, receive this blessing, life and sweetness and hope to you this night. May you remember that your life is precious, that each life is precious, and that we need one another to stay alive. May you remember, again, the sweetness of community, the delight in knowing and loving Rick, and the liberation of your bicycle. And finally, as we remember Rick and rededicate ourselves to a day of 0 road fatalities, may you hope diligently, fiercely, and defiantly a city with safe streets for all. Go in peace and go in power. Let the people say, Amen. Amen.
Justice.